Yeah, I know, yes.
Okay.
We were having sending stuff to people, and they never got it, and that kind of stuff. I think for $1.50, you can, the minute
I'm
you
just
send
so
it,
happy
you get
to
a
know
number.
who I talked to on the phone.
Every time you put a face.
It's first time.
No.
I already did.
I thought we did very well the other day. Gordon
Is this
well.
Miss McMahon? Miss
I don't know if you ever seen the thing
I
on
have
Facebook
Miss
that,
Jordan
like,
on the line, and I'm gonna try to merge y'all together into one
Post
call
office.
and
We
put
showed
y'all on
the record,
speaker and
and
test
then,
out if we can
like,
hear you.
10 minutes later,
Hold on
it's
just
here.
1 second for me.
And it's like, they don't understand it.
I had 2 items coming from Australia one time.
Ms. Cox, have you been by the site lately?
Yes, I have.
The other
It's
one said
beautiful, isn't it?
It is, they were, let's see, I took my granddaughters by there Saturday. And they were getting ready to break out
Okay, and Miss
there,
Jordan, can you hear me?
because the white is all up.
Right, right. That's what, I went in the interior. It's about a week and a half ago.
I mean, a call next time you're going inside. I'm mostly home, not always, but mostly.
Well, I'll probably be going by there, if not this Thursday, next Thursday.
Yeah, it's
And
my
I'll
cell
probably
phone.
go inside, not too late, but I'll give you a buzz when I do.
Good.
It's very nice.
I only live about 3 minutes from there.
Oh, okay, so I'll make sure I
I
do.
live in Boise by the Catholic Church.
Oh, okay, yes ma'am.
You know where the Catholic
I do,
Church is?
yes ma'am.
I live in the big white house next door.
With the big front porch? Okay, that's open front porch with the column?
Yep,
I know where you live.
that, and a very tall roof.
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
That's-
I love those houses with those kinds of porches. I love those, so I notice it every time I drive by. So that's how I know where it is.
You know, really, I think.
Never get to see education, you know, like that.
Well, hopefully it's gonna open up some doors to a lot of people.
Right there.
Where do you live?
I live in Heinston, really. I'm going to Heinston, you know, the Levos in Heinston.
Yeah.
When you get there, take a.
Call this meeting to order.
Left and go down.
And first order of business is for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now we'll take a moment of silence. Next item is solicitation of public comments. Hearing none, we'll move on. We need to add an item to the agenda today. It's the board grant resolution, and it's gonna be under new business when we get there. We just need a motion to approve adding that to the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. All in favor? Okay. Now we just need to get an approval of the agenda itself. So we need a motion and a second for that.
I move.
Okay,
Second.
okay. Moved and seconded. All in favor of approving the agenda, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. And I think we need to say who's here right now and who's on the phone too. You wanna do that, Celine?
Yes, currently physically in the room, we have Mr. Ralph Roach, Miss Lana Havens, Miss June Arrington, Mr. Greg Walker, Mr. Michael Fairbanks, Miss Dana Cox. In the room, we also have several library employees and Director Celise Reach Harper. On the phone, we have Miss Linda McMahon, Miss Leanza Jordan, and I believe that's it. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
All right,
Very
wonderful.
good, thank you. Okay, so we've got the approval of agenda, so next would be any board member reports. Hearing none, we'll move on. If everybody's had a chance to look at the February minutes, we just need to get a motion and a second to approve the minutes from February.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for February.
I second.
Okay, move to second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, the February minutes have been approved. Next up will be the financial report with Stacy.
Good afternoon. The February financial operating statement and such has been distributed. We are still slowly getting bills in late due to the mail situation. But we did get our ad valorem taxes. If you'll notice, we are actually over just a little bit. But we are expecting to have some refunds along the way here this year as people get reclassified tax exempt. We are going along the basic lines today for this month. The only ones that I would draw your attention to would be the 4165 account. That's our miscellaneous. You'll notice there's a credit there because we got reimbursed for some charges from December, which is why we have that little list. And that is our account we're gonna use to do those reimbursables. The other one I draw your attention to will be the 6,000s. And this is where we are putting the new voice charges. And as we move along, we're gonna start seeing more charges in this area. So we're talking 6,000, 610, and we're gonna start adding to it as we go along. I just have one other big note to pass along to everyone. The Boyce location building we are currently in has been sold to the town of Boyce. So we are awaiting the return call from the mayor regarding the situation. But we are hoping we extend out for the next 6 months until we can move into our location. And as we know more information from the mayor and lawyers there, we'll keep y'all informed. Do y'all have any questions regarding this month?
We rent that by the month, is that what we've been doing?
We actually are under lease, but yes, we are paying by the month.
Does it look promising?
You don't know. I don't know. We literally were told the day that he
Just a
signed the papers
Okay.
that it was sold, and we called the mayor immediately, and she says, "I want to review everything first."
Okay.
So
Lana just asked if we were paying for the Boyce branch by the month, and Stacy said, yes, we are. We are in the lease, and we pay by the month. And so as soon as we found out the property's been sold, we contacted the mayor's office to find out about it. And she said she just needs to review everything, and then she'll, I guess, get back to us. And we'll go on from there. Hopefully, they'll let us stay there for the next 6 months. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Answers, when is the proposed date for the Boyce completion?
The current estimation is the end of July, that they will be complete, which would put us moving in August, probably mid-August.
Did both of you get that?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? We just need to get a motion and a second for the financial report.
I so move.
Second.
Okay, moved and second. All in favor of approving the financial report? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
thank you.
Hearing none, the financial report has been approved. Next will be the director's report for Celine.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. So as you all know, we have reopened as of today. All of our physical locations are now, actually as of yesterday, all of our physical locations are now open to public access. We are mandating mask usage, distancing, We have upped our sanitation. We are still allowing people to utilize curbside assistance as well as drive-through. We will continue allowing curbside and drive-through in perpetuity because it has become popular, particularly with parents and people who don't are unable to get out of their vehicle and come into the library branches. So it removes a barrier to access. I think it's really important. So we are currently quarantining materials that are returned for 3 days. All services are being thoroughly sanitized, and we have received extremely positive reports thus far from the branches about people being excited over the ability to return to browsing. So that's all good news. Our strategic planning committee met yet again immediately preceding this one. We are currently looking at how we are going to formulate our questionnaires and how are we going to approach the different stakeholder groups. I invite you all to sit in at our next meeting because by that point we should have the questions. Each group is tasked with coming up with 8 distinct questions that are targeting which group that they will be talking to, and the subgroups are teens, educators, families, business owners, and job seekers and business organizations, seniors, people with disabilities, the homeless, and then city officials, board of control, police, jury, library staff, and political figures. So we've broken it down, and those are just some of the people in those groups. We've broken it down into 4 distinct categories, and we have 4 groups that are going to be approaching the different categories to get the information that we need to formulate our strategic plan. So we're going to be doing that in the coming month.
Is there a date for that next meeting?
Yes, the meetings are always immediately preceding our board meeting. So if you'd like to attend, it begins 1 hour prior to our board meeting, so 2:30. And
April 20th.
yeah, April 20th, I believe is the next date. So we have that going on. That seems to be going along pretty well. We had a partnership that I think was very impactful and beneficial to our staff. The week of March the 8th through the 12th, we had a partnership with the Central Louisiana Human Services District and the Louisiana Spirit Crisis Specialists. They came in and spoke to all of our employees at the branches about reduction of stress, about the anxieties related to the pandemic, about the anxieties related to reopening, and anything else they would like to seek help with. Across the board, everyone was very pleased. They did a short little intro session, then they had a meditation, and then they did individualized assistance where people could get directives to local community resources, or if they needed stress relief help, anxiety issues, things like that. They helped them to begin addressing those and to get the support or the other outside resources they might need. This is something we are looking at offering to our communities because it did go so well and it was so productive for our staff. It's something that we're going to look into offering for the communities. As some of you know, Jackie and I had formulated a plan to have a social worker brought in on staff at the library. We went so far as to create a job description, but then we had the hike in our insurance costs, so we could not see a feasible way to put it into our budget for this year. This might be a good partnership to see how that would benefit our community and then see if it's something that's worthwhile to pursue in the future when we are able. So I'm very pleased with that partnership we've created. The Friends, Michelle Riggs-Waller, who is our current Friends president, and I have had several conversations about the role they are going to play in our strategic planning and also about reinvigorating the Friends. Actually, just 2 nights ago, she and I had a late evening call on my ride home, hands-free. She and I talked about some ways that we can get the Friends group re-engaged and get some new Friends members. We've talked about the possibility of having something like a Friends dinner or an author dinner where the Friends group could sell tickets or some other types of events and the ways that the Friends group could support the library and support our staff. So we're looking at growing the Friends and growing that partnership in the future. Then the final thing at the bottom of the page is we have a National Library Week declaration that was issued by the police jury at their last meeting, formally declaring April 4th through the 10th as Library Week in Rapides Parish. And this, of course, coincides with the national endeavor. And we are hoping to have a photo op and news releases coming out with that information as well. And that's all I have for you at this time. Any other questions?
Any questions or comments? Okay. Then we'll move along. The next is going to be Direct Services Report from Lene.
Hello. I'm just going to say hello. I think Celeste pretty much covered it in regards to the branches. We're all open as of today and doing well.
Okay. Thank you. And next would be Human Resources Report from Jackie.
Hello everybody, how are you all? I don't have anything to report, all is well.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And next is Outreach and Youth Services with Tammy.
Just kind of repeating what we had talked about at the last couple of meetings. We have received a grant from the Louisiana Endowment for the Humanities to do a book discussion series, and that's going to start on Thursday. Yeah, on Thursday, March 18th. And it's going to be on a virtual book discussion, and we still have some book sets. If anybody's interested, we can get you a book set. Dr. Chris Stacy from LSUA is going to be our facilitator, and so it's going to be really, it's who gets to vote. We had talked about that last time. One of the books is about women's suffrage, one of it's about civil rights and how the vote came about. So it's going to be a 4-book series, 1 book a week, so it's going to be really interesting, and if you're interested, just see me. Things are picking up. I was so excited. We got a phone call to come to the Junior League is having an event at the First United Methodist Church this Saturday, and it's going to be the first time we actually get out and do an outreach event since I can't even remember. I don't even know if I'll remember what to do, but it's just so exciting. It feels like some kind of normal is coming back, so I'm pretty excited about that. And then this was really exciting news to me. We had written the grant application to get money for story walks at Boyce and Glenmora and from the Rapides Foundation, and we were funded. They gave us $11,058 to do those story walks. So it's going to really be good, especially at Boyce with the new library open, and it's going to be a big selling point. And we've already walked around Glenmora, McDonald several times. You know, Gail, the mayor. She's got it all spaced out where she wants everything to go. So hopefully this will be something that, these will be trial runs here, and maybe we can get one everywhere. That's what I'd like to see at every branch. So Celeste can work on getting that money.
Working on it always.
Always. So if anybody has any questions, and if you want a set of books, just see me and I'll get you a set.
Okay, thank you. Next is the IT report.
Don't believe it.
Next would be public relations report.
Hello, everyone. We gained about just over 200 followers on social media in the past month, and reached 36,000 people in the community. Right now, we're working to tell the community about our reopening. We have a new radio ad, so you guys should check out Q93, and I can't remember the other 3 stations right now, but you should hear us. It's a good commercial. Also, to promote Who Gets to Vote and our Easter basket read-off. But we're already secretly behind the scenes working on summer reading program and a few other things. So our newsletter subscribers went down slightly again, but I'm working on training to find out how I can segment such a large population. Our goal remains to acquire 10,000 subscribers right now. And then on the back, you'll see my media relations for the month. Also, Main Library sent out this Celebrate Earth Day. You can receive a free tree through Neighborhood Forest, and all the instructions to do that are on there. So maybe grandchildren or some other children you know will enjoy planting a tree on Earth Day. That's all I have. Are there any questions? No? Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. And the next item is any old business?
I like seeing y'all on TV.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I like seeing you on TV.
Oh, that was actually something really great with the Easter basket read-off. Jennifer preps me ahead of time, so I look good. But no, that was information for the Easter basket read-off, which we can see some of the prizes back here, some of the beautiful plants. We are buying locally, as we had mentioned previously. As many of our prizes as we can, we are utilizing local businesses, we're supporting them. And that's some of the items that were purchased at one of the nurseries in Forest Hill that's going to be used for the adult prizes. So very happy about that. But thank you.
Okay, next we'll be into new business, and the first will be the board grant resolution, and Celeste will go over that with us.
All right, this is on the Dove Gray sheet of paper in your packet. As you just heard from Tammy, we were awarded an $11,058 grant to make our story walks happen. We are going to eventually look at trying to make them happen at all of our branches, but for now we are starting with the 2. This is an agreement or a resolution that we need all of you to pass, stating that Tammy can be our point person for the Rapides Foundation, and that she can enter into the grant agreements with them. Hopefully this will be leading into some continued grant support and continued partnerships where we can make all of these story walks happen. But just prior to that, the Rapides Foundation does need all of you to make this motion to put her as our established point grant person for this project. So that's what I need from all of you.
I have a question.
Of course. Yes.
The resolution only applies to the Rapides Foundation, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And can you give us a little more description on the story walk, Tammy? Are there designated areas on a path?
Yes, they are, and she's coming up to tell you about it.
Yes, ma'am. There's a designated area, and there's 16 stanchions where a double page spread of a book will be. You'd almost have to see it. I'm going to try to describe it, but the pages of the book are under some type of plastic where you can read the 2 pages, and then you walk probably 8 steps to the next stanchion and read the next part of the book. And the idea is you can change the book, and then you can change that physical activity, like hop on your right foot to the next stanchion. So it's things that families can do together. It's things that kids will find fun, and it's physical. The things that the Rapides Foundation funds typically are health care related. So this is mentally, brain health and physical health. So it's a win-win situation. So yeah, they'll read, and then they'll hop or walk backwards or whatever to the next destination. And then when they finish with the whole story walk, they fill out a little bitty 3-question survey of some sort, so they can say what they liked about it, what they didn't, or whatever, and then we'll know how many people have come by. So we'll be able to track the use.
Okay, you said you can change from one book to another, so is it digital or is it actually a hard copy under a plastic or whatever?
Right. It's what it is, and I hate to say these words, but it's a hardcover book that's cut up. And so
It's deconstructed.
It's deconstructed, and the pages are flat out underneath from sort of plastic, clear plastic, lucite, I guess is what it is. And so it's made to where you can slide the old pages out and the new pages in. So enough money is with the grant that we can buy it takes 3 books per story walk to deconstruct.
3 copies?
3 copies of the same book, yeah. But we'll change the book monthly or sooner, depending on, just depends on how things go. Some people do it weekly. And if you go on Facebook to East Baton Rouge Library, they have one, and they have a lot of pictures, so you can get a better idea of what it looks like.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I would hope at the end that the book is laid to rest in a respectful way.
Yeah.
All right.
Should have it.
Okay. Very
For the
good.
next year.
Yeah.
Okay, so does anybody else have any questions about the resolution?
I think Tammy's just a good choice to put there.
So we just need to get a motion to approve the resolution naming Tammy as the point person with the grant with the Rapides Foundation.
I so move, Mrs. Leanne. Well, I'll second it, Linda.
Okay, moved and second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it has passed. So good. Thank you very much.
Right now, before we go ahead and sign it.
I just signed it. Okay, the next is going to be the resumption of in-person board meetings, starting with June 2021. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed over the next one, the extension of limited free printing and faxing per day. Okay. You want to?
This is not something we need a vote on right now. This is something that, it's a procedural change within the library, but I wanted to get your blessing, so to speak, before we went forward with it. I would like to continue offering up to 20 pages free of printing and faxing for our public. It has been very helpful, particularly with people processing claims for the various storm damages, claims related to their unemployment, other items with education, people going back to school now that they've been affected by the pandemic, people doing job searches and printing resumes. There's been a variety of needs that have been met with that 20-page limit. And of course, if somebody's going to abuse it, they're going to abuse it with printing more than 20 pages. So I think that 20-page cap prevents that, but I do see it as being very beneficial to our patrons at this time. So how do you all feel about continuing the up to 20 pages free printing and faxing per patron?
I think it'd be helpful.
I like it, I think we should continue this, Linda.
Okay. And financially, we can make it work, so it's not a huge ding to our budget.
We have a lot of people who have used this and
Yes.
this since
Yes.
I'm sure with everything that's been going on, it's been helpful.
Yes, and the typical person who utilizes it, it's usually about 5 to 10 pages. So if we were to charge for that, it would be $1.50 or less. So even if they did the full 20 pages, you're looking at $3. I think that we can offer that at this time. All right, so everyone is in agreement. All right, I just wanted to get your feelings on that before we proceeded with it. Okay.
And the next item that I jumped the gun on was the resumption of the in-person board meeting, starting with the June meeting.
Yes, and this is just something I wanted us to discuss. It is not hard and fast. If we see that there are still many people who are unvaccinated or who are uncomfortable with coming into our in-person meetings, we can leave it as is. However, I would like to encourage everyone, if possible, for us to resume our in-person meetings in June, but have them held here because we are able to distance better here. Eventually, I'd like for us to get back to going to the branches because the branches do enjoy having us there, and they, you know, I never actually had that experience. I came in and I believe my first meeting was at HDH, my second meeting was here, and then the sky fell in. So I would really love for us to resume that as soon as we can, but I do understand there are health and safety concerns, and I want us to go about this in a cautious manner. So how do you all feel about tentatively planning to resume in person as much as we can in June? I see most of you are here today, but I know that if you want to preserve your health or you're dealing with something, we have the capacity now to have the distance meetings. It's just a little harder to communicate. It's a little harder to see people's responses and to really have a conversation sometimes whenever we have things that we need to discuss thoroughly. So what are your feelings?
I'd love us to get back together, but I imagine we really need to, at the May meeting, make the final decision, and then we'll have more information, like you said. And is that something we would need to vote on at that time, or just?
No, it's just a discussion to have that we will intend to resume at that point. Maybe at that point we could say that we are going to officially resume our in-person meetings, and then going forward, because as you all know, this was a change that was made to the laws governing the way that public meetings are held. If that is fully reversed, then we would need to make it official that we were reverting. But if we can still have those exceptions and it is viable, which in a technology age I think there's a good possibility it will be viable, we can also continue to offer the on-the-phone option. But it is something we're probably going to have to look at come June.
Okay. Sounds good.
Does that all make sense?
Does anybody else have any questions or comments?
It's nice when we're all here together.
Ms. McMahon?
I heard some noises from
Are you all okay on the phone?
Hello?
I think I lost them.
Oh yeah, I think we may have lost them. Let's try to get them back. Hold on just one moment, everyone. We're going to try to get them back, I believe. We have...
It's nice to have all of us.
It is nice to have everyone together.
Glad to see Ms. Cox back with us.
Yes.
And her arm fully restored.
Yes.
Yes, I still have an arm.
And while we're waiting for Kendra to get everyone back on the phone, just so you all know, whenever I'm going to be going to the voice branch the next time,
I think
if you
so.
want,
I'm
give
gonna
you all
call
a
Ms.
call.
McMahon next.
So if you'd like to
and
join
hopefully
me
we'll
in
get you guys
going
both back together.
inside
I
to
don't
see
know
what the
what
interior
happened.
looks like.
When you
No,
go-
nobody was touching the phone.
I'm not sure if I'm going
So-
this Thursday or the following Thursday, but it's going to be sometime in the next couple
Okay,
weeks.
let's try it again, and if it
Can send
happens
out
again,
maybe a
I
message
don't.
over.
Yes, ma'am. I'll send you all a text message.
That's the first time it's happened, so
and
that's a
give you
good
a
thing.
call.
Let me give Ms. McMahon a call real quick, one moment.
Because they've made some really nice progress. It's very exciting.
I've been out in a while.
Seems like it's going up so fast.
It is, it is. It truly, and they're very attentive to detail because the facade on the front was slightly off. They
Hi,
took
Ms.
it down to
McMahon.
restore it
Our call was
and
dropped.
to
I'm not
fix
sure
it
what
because they
happened.
noticed that it was slightly askew.
Yeah, well, nobody was touching the phone, it was sitting over by Mr. Fairbanks, and it dropped you both. So I'm gonna, oh dear. Okay, well, I'm gonna merge the call back together and put y'all right back where you were, so give me just 1 second.
you both hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay, we're back. Thank you.
What was the decision, we lost you all when we were discussing the, resumption of in-person board meetings. Was the decision to go with the June date?
We're going to hold off and see where things stand in May, and if the current, leeway we've been given on a state level, if it's still available, we can of course make this still an option. But if it's not, then we would have to see about making the decision just to go back to our regular in-person meetings. Because it was a change in some of our open meeting law legislation, some special caveats that were presented by the governor that made it available. So I just wanted to prepare everyone for us if we were not able to continue doing that. Because I think by June, most of the states should have access to the vaccine, and I feel as though some of these possibilities may no longer exist.
Well, as long as there's not another surge, right, regardless of how much vaccine is available, if there's a surge, then we'll have a problem. But moving on, thank you.
You're welcome. And we will, of course, offer the option as long as we are able. In fact, I'd like to offer the opportunity in perpetuity, and also the option to have the Facebook feeds too. But that's something we're going to try to address in the future. We're going to look at it in May when we're able.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good.
All right, so let's move on. The next item is the addition to bylaws for continuing the live streaming of the board meetings.
Okay, and speaking of that, you'll see in your packet in the off-white cream color sheet, there is under Article 2 of meetings, there's a possibility we could add Section 4, which would state, all meetings of the board will be made accessible to the public and live streamed and or recorded for public viewing. Or we could make this a simple procedural change, which would mean we would not necessarily have to do it, but would voluntarily do it going forward. Or we could make it a current accepted practice with room to change as technology may change. This is all covering us making the live Facebook streams available. I think for public transparency's sake and to let people attend the meeting who may not otherwise be able to. It makes us more ADA compliant. It makes us more transparent. It shows the public that we are good stewards of what we have been bestowed. For a whole host of reasons, I think it's a good idea to allow for the live streams, of course, for everything except for executive sessions. But the decision is yours whether we would like to make that an addition to our bylaws, or if we would just like to make it a practice and then just leave it with room to change if technology changes. So do we want to address this in our bylaws, or do we want to just continue with the procedure? Procedure? Ms. Arrington says procedure?
Yeah.
That's
Keep it simple.
I think we should continue the procedure.
yeah.
Okay, so procedural?
That's what I was thinking too.
Okay, that's easy enough.
It's
That
working, don't change it, huh?
right. Exactly. It's not broke, don't fix it. Okay,
Right.
that sounds good to me. All right.
Okay, and next item, D, is the SLOL board training opportunity. I guess it's state.
Yes, State
Library
Library of
of
Louisiana, yes. Our state librarian and associate librarian offer trainings to library trustees, library board of control members, and I wanted to ask you all if it was something you would be interested in them conducting for us in the future. I'm not sure of a tentative date, but I wanted to get your feelings on that. They can do specific topics. They can do 3 or 6 hour sessions, and they can cover, pardon me, They can cover specific topics on holding meetings, how to make changes to bylaws, things that you might need to know. They could even go into the role of the board versus director, ways that boards can support their libraries, lots of different things. Is that something you're interested in?
I'm interested in, yeah.
Okay.
This is Linda, I'm interested in.
I would be interested in
All right. Okay, then I will go ahead and make myself a note. I will follow up with Rebecca and see if possibly in the fall, whenever we have our all-staff day, knock on wood, I'm hoping that we have it because I'm very excited about having one. I will see if we can do a special trustee section for you all around the same time.
it. Great. And then everything should be more back to normal.
Yes.
Yes. Linda, I believe that there was a board training scheduled, I want to say in Baton Rouge, possibly in 2019, and something happened because several of us registered to go. Right, did plan to go.
Okay.
And there was either a conflict with something else that several of us were involved in here in Alexandria, and then I believe the actual training, which was open to board members statewide, I think it was canceled. But you might want to look into that.
Okay. Yes, I know what you're speaking of, where they used to have the days for the trustees because they have the annual boot camp for library directors, and so they do those where you all can attend them at the state library if you'd prefer that. But I just thought it might be easier for you all to have them come to us if we could organize it. So if you all would be interested, they can give some of the same or similar content and actually come here to you all. And if we wanted to expand it, we could even expand it and invite some of the boards from the surrounding parishes to come in and utilize our space. Yes.
Actually, they did that several years ago.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
right. I
Oh,
remember
excellent.
that.
The adjoining parishes were invited.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
what was said?
There was a meeting like that, a training session, about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe. We met here at Westside, and it was Rapides Parish. I think there were several of us that were here, and then I think it was Saul Parish. There were about 2 or 3 different parishes that had their library. Some of the board members came here.
Yeah.
So yes, it has been done before.
Okay. So you all are amenable to that if I can make that happen?
Sure.
Yeah.
And with some other, like I said, some surrounding parishes, that would be really good for them that maybe
Right.
couldn't do it. They're smaller.
Exactly.
So-
Some of the smaller surrounding parishes, that might be an excellent opportunity for them as well.
Well, it would be more efficient for the staff from Baton Rouge also.
True.
Yes, yes, certainly. Okay, so I will follow up on that.
Okay, great. All right. Next thing is the finance committee report. We need to see about changing the name on the accounts for the business manager. So let's take care of that one first.
Ms. Jordan?
Good afternoon, everyone. The Finance Committee met on March 12th. Members present included Ms. Lana Havens, Mr. Greg Walker, of course, Ms. Elise Reach Harper, Ms. Stacy Dubrow, myself, and our administrative assistant, Ms. Kendra Bertrand. We did discuss simple housekeeping item regarding changing the business manager's name on the account from Mr. Jimmy Holton back to Ms. Stacy Dubrow. And Stacy, if you would bring to the board's attention the discussions and decisions regarding the reinvestment of the funds, the CD fund.
We received notice from Capital One that one of our CDs was expiring, and they were not gonna reinvest it because they no longer dealt with public funds. So we were gonna have to move it. So we went around and looked at as many banks as we could, we end up recommending to the board, to the finance committee, that we go with the Evangeline 12-month option. So we're looking to go visit with them and reinvest that money and see what we can get out of that.
So we do need a motion for each of those items. If Ms. Jordan is
We are
done.
open to a motion for the business manager's name change.
I so moved.
I'll second.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. First of all, does anybody have any questions about these two items? Okay, I don't hear any, so to change the name on the account from Jimmy to Stacy, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, that has been approved.
I have a question.
Sure.
Isn't that's just that's mandatory, isn't it? I mean, we're voting on it, but it's really mandatory.
Well,
because
right.
It's no longer here.
Exactly.
Yes, we just,
You have to change the name.
yes, we just have to we have to just get formal permission.
And now we need a motion to reinvest the CD funds in Evangeline Bank for the 12-month term. So, get a motion and a second for that.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Well, I didn't ask if anybody's got any comments or questions on that item either. Hearing none, all in favor of reinvesting the CD funds? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that has been approved also.
And that concludes the finance committee report.
Thank you very much, Madam Secretary. And now the last item is going to be the Boyce Project update, which I'm sure we are all interested in hearing.
Yes. Our voice project is coming along rather swimmingly. We have progressed to the fact that they are currently preparing, if they have not already begun, putting on the brick exterior. I believe that Ms. Cox went by there and saw them getting the white sheeting up on the exterior before they put up the bricks. I have been into the interior and it is lovely. They are being very cautious with the way that they are designing it. It's going to be a beautiful facility when it's done. The next time I made the offer while we were trying to get our other board members back on the phone, but I intend to be at the site either this Thursday or the following Thursday, depending on weather and scheduling. And I can shoot you all a text the night before to let you know when I will be there, if you would like to come and visit the site with me. Do bring shoes that you do not want ruined, because even when it seems to be dry, it's a little muddy. I've started carrying. Yes, I started carrying a little pair of galoshes in my car with me for when the urge takes. But it is lovely inside and they're doing an excellent job. So I invite you all to stop by. We are looking at a projected completion date at the end of July, possibly the beginning of August, and a move-in date in mid to late August. So that's a little bit pushed back from what we had initially hoped, or from what I had initially hoped. But as things are progressing and we're seeing the different delays we've had, of course, due to weather and some supply chain issues, this is a more firm date. So I'm thinking that August is definitely within the realm of possibility. All right. Are there any questions about the Voice Project or comments? Anything?
Sounds good.
Yes. All right.
Okay, nobody has any questions? So the last thing is the next meeting will be April the 20th here at the West Side Regional Library. Does anybody have any comments or questions about anything? All right, then this meeting has adjourned. All right.
Before we say goodbye, Kendra, are you there?
I am, yes ma'am.
Kendra, I'm looking at the document that you sent on my screen.
Yes
And
ma'am.
the